Alrighty, YouTube, Niner Empire, what is going down? Welcome back to another video. So yesterday, the 49ers made a splash move. They made some headlines. They signed veteran defensive back and two-time Super Bowl champion Logan Ryan as they deal with, a banged-up secondary. I actually really like this signing. I'm not going to lie. Obviously, the 49ers have lost George Odom, who is not only a special team ace, but another depth safety piece for the 49ers. So they lost him to torn biceps in that Thanksgiving game against the Seattle Seahawks. And then obviously we know with Talanoa Hufanga, he has that torn ACL that he suffered against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I believe that may have been week 11. But either way, both of those guys are out, unfortunately, due to season-ending injuries. So obviously the 49ers are going to go out and make, a depth move. And they did so by signing Logan Ryan. And it's kind of funny because Logan Ryan has been a Good Morning Football host for some time now. And he's stressed about himself, still he believes he still, can add to a contending team and he can still play at a high level. He's got 2 Super Bowl rings with the New England Patriots, and obviously, with this move, like I said in the beginning of this video, they're trying to boost up their secondary that's currently, taking a hit on some injuries. So, in terms of the deal aren't known yet. It hasn't been released on anything to do with like what the deal consists of, how long it is. I'm assuming it's just till the end of the year because Logan Ryan's not a guy that we're going to need for next year either, especially when everybody comes back and is fully healthy. So I would imagine this is a deal that's going to keep him with the 49ers until the end of the season. And then obviously, I mean, when you look at the things that went into signing Logan Ryan in terms of like why the 49ers did it, like I just mentioned, it really is kind of like a clutch type of move for the Niners. Obviously, 49ers put a straight whooping on the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday, in which we're the number 1 seed. Philly's the number 1 seed in the NFC, and then obviously you have San Francisco right behind them at the 2 seed. So, I mean, in terms of everything, it seems like the 49ers did 2 things here. They not only did they bolster up their secondary, but they also countered the Philadelphia Eagles with their signing of 3-time All-Pro linebacker Shaquille Leonard. So, Shaquille Leonard actually signed with the Philadelphia Eagles, I believe, 2 days ago. I believe it was on Monday after the Niners gave him a can of whoop ass. But the Eagles needed to kind of make a move for Shaquille Leonard. The thing with Shaquille Leonard is he's dealt with a lot of injuries. He's been one of the more premier players of the Indianapolis Colts for some time now. Really since ever since he kind of was drafted and made a name for himself. And when you look at Philly, like their weakest spot of their team by far is that defense. More specifically, the secondary, but they have Nakobe Dean hurt. Zach Cunningham was hurt against the Niners, so they need a true linebacker to kind of fill some of those voids, and they do so with signing Shaq Leonard. And Shaq Leonard was deciding between Dallas and Philly for quite some time, but he ends up going to Philadelphia, which, to be completely honest, I think I would rather go to Philly than Dallas. So I get where he's coming from there. But it's kind of funny because you look at all the moves that have recently happened. Like, the Eagles trade for Kevin Byard from the Tennessee Titans, and then the San Francisco 49ers counter by trading for Chase Young from the Commanders. And then the Eagles signed Shaquille Leonard, and the Niners signed Logan Ryan. So it seems just like a chess match between Howie Roseman and John Lynch. Every time Howie bolsters up the defense or makes a signing, seems like John Lynch always wants to counter, and that's kind of like the competitive type of thing that the NFL needs more of. I mean, especially when you look at the Niners and the Eagles, like these guys are most likely going to be playing in the NFC Championship game. And I mean, with how Philly looked on Sunday against the Niners, clearly Howie Roseman knows now that team needs to bolster up their defense. With some of the injuries that they've had recently, and they did so by signing Shaq Leonard. And then you look at San Francisco, and if there was one problem that stood out against the Philadelphia Eagles this past weekend, it was the tackling from the secondary. Jair Brown struggled tackling. Tashawn Gibson Sr. struggled when it came to tackling. So Logan Ryan has actually been a very, very productive and very consistent tackler throughout his NFL career. So that's something that he's going to bring to the Niners secondary that a guy like Jair Brown or Tashawn Gibson may not have. But yeah, when you look at Logan Ryan, he is 32 years old, so he is, an older safety. He was with New England from 2013 to 2016. He spent some time with the Tennessee Titans from 2017 to 2019. And then he went to the Giants from 2020 to 2021. And then just recently he was with the Tampa Bay Bucks last year. And then obviously now he went unsigned after last year. And then now obviously he's with the Niners. So, like I said, I mean, he's actually been a very, very productive tackler. And again, that's something that the 49ers have been missing, especially without, with them missing Talanoa Hufanga with that torn ACL. But look, I mean, at the end of the day, I think, the 49ers all in all, like, forget the tackling. I mean, I think the 49ers have a lot of young defensive backs playing very well. And that includes, obviously, Jair Brown, who's been very good in coverage. But, I mean, Kyle Shanahan brought in Steve Wilks to elevate the secondary. If there's one thing Steve Wilks specializes in, it's elevating secondaries. And he's doing so even, through some growing pains. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I think clearly this move is going to help the Niners, not only in terms of just, being able to, for him to come in and being a very good tackling safety, but he can also mentor a guy like Jair Brown and some of these rookie defensive backs that the Niners have. Now, obviously, Tashawn Gibson Sr. has kind of been doing that for some time now. But I mean, it's Logan Ryan's. He's had a great NFL career. Here's a stat as well that kind of goes hand in hand with what I was talking about with him being a good tackling safety. He has a career missed tackle rate of only 8.7%. He's played every single position in the secondary. He has 19 interceptions to his name and even notched a 5-sack season previously. Obviously, the only upside here for San Francisco is adding such a versatile veteran to a position hurt by 2 injuries. So it's more so of a depth move, right? But I think Logan Ryan is a guy that, God forbid if Jair Brown were to go down with an injury or Tashawn Gibson Sr., Logan Ryan could come in and I think he could really fit that role perfectly, and I don't think the Niners would really have to worry about that. But Logan Ryan started his NFL career as a cornerback before moving to safety in 2020. Like I said, he's 32 years old now. He's been durable over his NFL career. But I mean, like I said, I mean, with the experience across all of the defensive back positions, cornerback, strong safety, free safety, nickel corner, slot, he's got 19 career picks and a very solid tackling track record, which are all huge selling points for the 49ers, and that's, again, something that this secondary has struggled with, since the Talanoa Hufanga injury. So, again, man, I mean, this is about as significant as a signing can be at this point, of the year. it's a big time addition, especially for the rest of this month in December and into the playoff run. But yeah, man, I like the move. I actually really like the move. I definitely think when you look at Logan Ryan, again, he's going to bring so much to the Niners that's going to help them in the long run. The tackling, he can mentor some of these young guys that the Niners have. And again, I think the biggest thing that went into signing, Logan Ryan is the fact that he's played every position in a secondary throughout his NFL career. Yes, he's 32 years old, but at the end of the day, this isn't a move where the Niners are looking at as a long-term option. The details of this, deal haven't came out, except other than that it's a 1-year deal. And again, I don't expect Logan Ryan to be with the Niners following this season, considering we'll have Hufanga coming back and George Odom will be coming back off their season-ending injuries. So the thing is, though, it's a very good move in terms of having depth at that position. Again, God forbid if Deshaun Gibson went down or if Jair Brown went down. I'm very comfortable in knowing that Logan Ryan could come in here and play any position that the 49ers have any injuries to, and I think we would be just fine. Now, with the signing of Logan Ryan, in order to make room for him on the roster, they actually released former third-round pick Tyrion Davis-Price, the running back. I think with Ty Davis-Price, I think the biggest thing with him was, he was originally drafted in 2022. He's appeared in 7 games with the team, registering, 40 carries for 120 yards. But the Niners, they're clearly, CMC is that guy, right? He's the best running back in the National Football League. The guy's having an insane season as well. But you got CMC, you've got Elijah Mitchell, and you've got Jordan Mason. Now, actually, in order, it's CMC, Jordan Mason, and Elijah Mitchell. So really, Ty Davis-Price has been the odd one out. The Niners drafted him out of LSU. I'll never forget the draft pick either. And now, I definitely think, Ty Davis-Price could end up back on the Niners, but I think as of right now, the 49ers are probably just kind of moved on from him. Again, it's a situation where he barely got playing time as is. And with Ty Davis-Price, he was another Kyle Shanahan third-round running back that I think the Niners could have grabbed somebody else that position and would have probably been a little better in terms of, track record on the team, I guess. Kyle loves to grab these third-round running backs, and a bunch of running backs in the 3rd and 4th rounds, and I've never understood it. In a way, Ty Davis-Price was actually drafted before the Niners got Brock Purdy, but I've just never understood Kyle's thinking behind always trying to grab running backs in the 3rd round. There was probably a handful of really talented starters in the 3rd round when we grabbed Ty Davis-Price, but Kyle wanted him instead, and now he's not even on the team. So, like I said, with the addition of the Logan Ryan signing, the Niners have waived 3rd-round running back, former 3rd-round pick running back, Ty Davis-Price. So, again, I think the Niners, I wouldn't be shocked if it was a situation where they maybe sign him back to the practice squad or something like that. But, look, when you bring a guy in, you got to make room for him, and they did so, obviously, by moving on from Ty Davis-Price. So, obviously, like I said, that guy, he was always the odd one out, it seemed like. Jordan Mason's clearly, I think, better than Elijah Mitchell. I think he's a more fierce runner, so when you look at it that way, I think that's why the Niners have been playing Jordan Mason pretty much as the number 2 back behind McCaffrey all season long. But either way, like I said, the Niners signed Logan Ryan to a 1-year deal. I love the move. It brings veteran knowledge to the team. He can play, all secondary positions, pretty much like a 5-position player. or a 4-position player. So I love the move. Two-time Super Bowl champion. He's going to bring a Super Bowl pedigree to the Niners. And again, I mean, I think in this point in the season, it's a very important signing, especially with the current issues of the safety tackling or of our safety struggling with tackling. Why not bring in a guy that's won 2 Super Bowls that can still play at a pretty high level, and that's pretty much known for being a good tackler over the course of his career. So I love the move, to be completely honest. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. But yeah, with that being said, as always, go Niners, and I'll see you guys in the next one.